On a Sunday by Colleen Parker of Port Macquarie 2444. Narrated by Janine Penfold. We were a graphic design studio of 8 when Elle surprised us with an invitation to her Macedonian wedding. Opening our envelopes, we voiced our delight. "I would love to come," said Diane. "Me too," the rest chorused. "Wonderful, but I need to explain that my culture celebrates weddings in our traditional way. There will be 450 guests at the reception, so I have arranged a special table for you, my Aussie work friends." "Elle, that's so sweet of you," someone uttered. "I want you to feel comfortable with my family and want my parents to meet all of you, but also I don't want you to feel obligated to follow all the activities you will see my Macedonian guests doing." "Sounds intriguing," said Ken. "It's on a Sunday," I remarked. "I don't even know 450 people," said another. We met in the church car park on the date and time on the invitation, but were worried when the car park was empty. Where are the guests? Have we got the right date? Is it the right church? We noticed people in the hall at the rear of the church and walked down to the door where we were welcomed with gushing bows and ushered inside. "This is the groom's breakfast. Come in and have a seat at one of the tables." But we are guests of the bride. "She'll be an hour. She's having her breakfast ritual at home." "Do you mind us waiting here?" "Drinks and food are on a table over there. Enjoy." "The bridegroom is leaving for his shaving ceremony," said the announcer. Soft drinks, wine and plates of finger food were available, so we dutifully tucked in. Elle didn't tell us about this part," Todd said. "I wouldn't have had my bacon and eggs for breakfast if I knew this was on," responded Ken, pouring a red. We joined in the feast, comfortable among the friendly people. We questioned everything around us, attempting to understand the traditions taking place. An hour later, the groom returned looking handsome and prepared for the symbolic separation from his family. The bridegroom was flooded with well wishes from everyone as his godfather escorted him up to the church, with some of the celebrators forming a short procession behind them and our group following up the rear. "What a magnificent building," I whispered to my husband. "There are no seats," whispered Brooke. "I'm used to seeing pews." "Let's stand against the wall so we can get a close look at the altar." A hush came over the church when Elle stood in the doorway. We were in awe, seeing her radiance in her lace-bodiced bridal gown with full skirt and thick gold thread covering the join around her waist. The bride stood with her handsome groom at the altar, and the pair had gold crowns held above their heads, tied together with ribbon. The happy couple circled the altar with the priest reciting prayers and blessings for them. After 3 rotations, they stood alongside the bride's parents for the few church guests to be greeted and kissed as Elle accepted their gifts of money. She thanked each one and handed them to her mother, standing behind her with a small bag. The conclusion of the ceremony was a handful of sweets thrown into the air for the children to gather and collect. While the bride and groom drove off for official photographs, we drove towards the function room, fatigued, recalling the morning's events. "What an unusual ceremony," someone uttered. "If you have only attended Australian weddings," responded another. "I can't wait to find out what else will be happening." Diane's smile showed her excitement. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the function room opened its doors and ushered in the guests. The steward showed us to our designated table, adorned with 2 bottles of alcohol and snacks. The scene looked amazing, and the buzz of the other guests grew louder as the numbers increased, until a sudden hush. Looking at the decorated archway entrance, we saw the magnificence of the newly married couple standing there, accompanied by the proud godfather, adorned with a huge buttercup yellow satin bow tied around his upper left arm. He directed that a cage with 2 white doves be unlatched, allowing them to fly free. He then escorted the bride and groom to the wedding table, set up on a platform to enhance their view of all the guests. The festivity continued with the pig dance, a ceremony in which piping hot whole pigs stuffed with an apple in their mouths were displayed on ornate silver platters, and with the steward's right arm raised and bent for the platters to rest at shoulder level. They manoeuvred their way around the room and served all the tables. How impressive, we agreed. Much later, the bride and groom cut their massive wedding cake, designed as a castle with bridge. Then the groom swept the bride into his arms, carrying her to the floor for their first dance as the band began. A $5 note was placed on the drum, ensuring more music for couples to join in, and when the music stopped, a guest placed a $10 note, then a $20 note, and later $50 notes continued to pile up, livening the music immensely. We accepted small, colourful satin triangular scarves with bells on them and joined the circles of happy dancers using them to keep the rhythm of the dancing. The hours disappeared quickly, celebrating this wedding with an abundance of love, laughter, joy, singing, dancing, and food, creating memories to be cherished forever. Hours later, Elle stood by our table, thanking us for attending, and said goodbye, adding a reminder that we had to work the following day and explaining that she must stay until the last guest leaves. "Let's hope we don't have anything too difficult to design tomorrow," said Erica, "because I don't think any one of us will be up to it." The end.